The scenario described involves swapping the function of a three-way switch and a single-pole switch. The light that was originally controlled by the single-pole switch will now be controlled by the three-way switch, and conversely, the lights previously controlled by the three-way switch will be controlled by the single-pole switch. You will be reusing the red and black conductors from one of the 12.3 cables as travelers between the three-way switches. This maintains the three-way switching functionality while repurposing the white conductor for other uses. You will also need to relabel the white conductor that originally carried the switched leg from the single-pole switch and use it as the common conductor for the lights. This ensures the lights consistently receive power, irrespective of the switch position. To elaborate on this, consider the fundamental principles of three-way and single-pole switch wiring. A single-pole switch simply interrupts the hot wire, completing or breaking the circuit to control a light. A three-way switch, however, uses two switches to control a light from two different locations. It achieves this by using two traveler wires that connect the two switches. The common terminal on each three-way switch is connected to the power source on one end and the light fixture on the other. In a standard three-way configuration, power comes into one switch on the common terminal. When the switch is flipped, it sends power down one of the two traveler wires to the second switch. The second switch then either completes the circuit to the light fixture or leaves it open, depending on its position. The key to rewiring this setup lies in understanding how to safely and effectively repurpose existing wires. Firstly, identify the wires in the two-gang box. You mentioned a 12.2 cable bringing the feed into the box and a 12.2 cable going to the lights that were originally controlled by the single-pole switch. You also have 12.3 cables running to each of the three-way switches. The first step is to disconnect all the wires and carefully label them. Use electrical tape and a permanent marker to clearly identify each wire. This will prevent confusion during the rewiring process. Next, focus on the 12.2 cable that feeds power into the box. Connect the black wire from this cable to the common terminal of one of the three-way switches. This will provide the power source for the three-way circuit. Now consider the 12.3 cable running to the other three-way switch. As you mentioned, you will be using the red and black wires as travelers. Connect these wires to the traveler terminals on both three-way switches. It's crucial to ensure that the traveler wires are connected to the correct terminals on each switch. The white wire in this 12.3 cable needs to be repurposed to carry the switched leg from the second three-way switch to the light fixture. Relabel this white wire with red tape to indicate that it is now a hot wire. Connect this relabeled white wire to the common terminal of the second three-way switch. Then run this wire to the junction box where the lights are connected. In the junction box, connect the relabeled white wire to the black wire of the 12.2 cable that runs to the light fixture. This will provide the switched power to the lights that are now controlled by the three-way switch. Now let's address the single-pole switch. You need to connect the 12.2 cable that originally went to the lights controlled by the single-pole switch to the single-pole switch. Disconnect the black wire from this cable from its original connection and connect it to one of the terminals on the single-pole switch. Then connect a new wire from the other terminal on the single-pole switch to the black wire of the 12.2 cable that runs to the lights that are now controlled by the single-pole switch. This will provide the switched power to these lights. Finally, ensure that all the neutral wires, which are the white wires, are connected together in the junction box. This is a crucial step for completing the circuit and ensuring proper operation. Also, all ground wires, which are typically bare copper or green, should be connected together. This provides a path for fault current in case of a short circuit. Before energizing the circuit, double-check all the connections to ensure they are secure and properly insulated. Use wire connectors, such as wire nuts, to make secure connections. Wrap electrical tape around the wire connectors to provide additional insulation and prevent accidental contact. Once you are confident that all the connections are correct, you can turn the power back on and test the switches. The three-way switch should now control the lights that were originally controlled by the single-pole switch, and vice versa. If the switches do not function as expected, turn off the power and recheck the wiring. It's important to troubleshoot any issues before leaving the job. Some common problems include miswired traveler wires, incorrect connections to the common terminals, and loose connections. If you are unsure about any aspect of the wiring, it's always best to consult with a qualified electrician. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it's important to take all necessary precautions to ensure your safety. Remember to always turn off the power before working on any electrical circuits. Use insulated tools and wear appropriate safety gear, such as safety glasses and gloves. Also, be aware of the local electrical codes and regulations. These codes are designed to ensure the safety and proper functioning of electrical systems. Violating these codes can result in fines and other penalties. In addition to the rewiring process, it's also important to consider the overall condition of the electrical system. If the wiring is old or damaged, it may be necessary to replace it. Also, make sure that the circuit breaker is properly sized for the load. Overloaded circuits can cause fires and other electrical hazards. By following these guidelines, you can safely and effectively rewire the three-way and single-pole switches and ensure the proper functioning of the electrical system. Always prioritize safety and consult with a qualified electrician if you have any doubts. The National Electrical Code, also known as NEC, provides detailed guidelines for electrical installations. The NEC is updated every 3 years to reflect the latest advancements in electrical technology and safety practices. It's important to stay up to date with the latest edition of the NEC to ensure that your electrical work complies with the current standards. Some relevant NEC articles for this project include Article 200, which covers the identification of grounded conductors, Article 210, which covers branch circuits, and Article 404, which covers switches. Specifically, NEC Article 200.7 addresses the use of white or grey wire for purposes other than as a neutral conductor. In certain instances, the NEC permits re-identification of the white wire through taping, painting, or other effective means. This is directly relevant to relabeling the white conductor with red tape to signify its use as a hot wire, as you've described. However, it is critical to understand the specific stipulations in NEC Article 200.7 to ensure compliance. NEC Article 210.70 addresses lighting outlets required in dwelling units, which may become relevant if the switching arrangement has implications for the locations where lighting is controlled. This section outlines the requirements for switch-controlled lighting outlets in habitable rooms, hallways, stairways, attached garages, and outdoor entrances. If the relocated switch serves to control a lighting outlet in any of these areas, it's essential to ensure that the new configuration complies with NEC Article 210.70. NEC Article 404.2 addresses the arrangement of switches. The NEC specifies that all switch loops must be switched to the ungrounded conductor, not the grounded neutral conductor. Therefore, when implementing the described switching arrangement, ensuring the continuity of the neutral conductor and the correct switching of the ungrounded conductor becomes very important. A key point in NEC Article 404.2 is the correct installation of switches to interrupt the ungrounded conductor, thereby preventing the potentially hazardous situation of a constantly energized circuit. Always use the proper tools for electrical work. These include insulated screwdrivers, wire strippers, pliers, and voltage testers. Avoid using tools that are damaged or worn, as they can be dangerous. When working with wires, always use the correct size wire connectors. Using the wrong size wire connectors can result in loose connections, which can cause overheating and fires. Also, be sure to tighten the wire connectors securely to ensure a good electrical connection. When installing switches and outlets, make sure they are properly grounded. This is important for preventing electrical shock. The ground wire should be connected to the grounding terminal on the switch or outlet and to the ground wire in the electrical box. When working with electrical circuits, always be aware of the potential hazards. Electricity can be dangerous, and it's important to take all necessary precautions to protect yourself from injury. If you are unsure about any aspect of electrical work, it's always best to consult with a qualified electrician. They have the knowledge and experience to safely and effectively perform electrical work. It is important to note that the specific requirements of the NEC can vary depending on the local jurisdiction. Therefore, it's always a good idea to check with the local building department or electrical inspector to ensure that your electrical work complies with the local codes and regulations. Additionally, proper documentation of all electrical work is essential. Keep a record of the wiring diagram, the materials used, and the date of the installation. This information can be helpful for future maintenance and repairs. In summary, rewiring the three-way and single-pole switches involves carefully disconnecting, relabeling, and reconnecting the wires according to the new configuration. It's important to follow all safety precautions and to comply with the National Electrical Code and local electrical codes. If you are not comfortable performing this work yourself, it's always best to hire a qualified electrician. Remember, electrical safety is paramount, and it's always better to be safe than sorry. Furthermore, if the homeowner decides in the future to revert the lights back to their original configuration controlled by the three-way and single-pole switches, make sure to document everything including the wiring and the wires re-identification. Otherwise, a lot of future time may be spent on trying to figure out how the lights were wired and controlled, or there might be hazardous situations for the new person trying to work on the wires. Consider that many electrical outlets are rated for 15 amps at 120 volts. The wattage rating is calculated by multiplying the voltage by the amperage, so 15 amps multiplied by 120 volts equals 1800 watts. Never exceed the maximum wattage rating for any electrical outlet, otherwise there could be electrical fire hazards. The same principle applies to circuit breakers as well, whether it is 15 amps or 20 amps or more. Never exceed the maximum amperage rating for any circuit breaker, or that could cause the circuit breaker to fail and have the potential to start an electrical fire.